Welcome into the era of AI. Hello and welcome. In this video right here, we're going to explain 6 prompt engineering strategies for getting better results. Plus, we're going to have some practice. The first one, or the first strategy or tactic that you have to take into consideration when you're writing your prompts down in ChatGPT is write clear instructions. When we say write clear instructions, what do we mean by that? Well, you have to include the details. What exactly are the details? So, okay, since this course is regarding creating a book using ChatGPT, let's go back to ChatGPT for a second. Here, I'm going to get started by saying, I want you to write an outline for a book about, and I'm going to go and add carnivore diet. The carnivore diet is basically a diet when you're just eating meats. You're not eating any vegetables. I could have specified it would be vegan diet or anything of the sort. But here, as you can see, it is generating a response. It's true, because ChatGPT will always generate a response, no matter how good or bad your prompt is. But is it really what I want? And is my prompt detailed? Just like they say over here, include details in your query to get more relevant answers. Well, it is not detailed because, number one, I didn't say the title of the book. Number two, I didn't ask it to generate a specific certain amount of chapters. I just let it generate as many chapters as it so desires, which pretty much might not be what I want. I didn't say my name as the author. I didn't say what I wanted the book to be about or why am I writing that book. I didn't specify none of that. So here, let's edit this message for a second. I'm going to say the book's title is Carnivore Diet to Cure Anxiety, for example, right? Anxiety, right? Let's say that this is the title, all right? Let's go and add some more details. We're going to actually say the number of chapters should be no more than 10. That's the second detail. Let's say the name of the author is Ron Hemza. Okay, let's say some more details. The book should be targeted at people between 26 yes, to 50 years old or of age. This book is targeted to men. And okay, so now I provided it with more details, right? So now remember, I said no more than 10 chapters. I said the title is Carnivore Diet to Cure Anxiety. The number of chapters should be no more than 10. And so I provided with pretty much all the details it requires. So here I'm going to click on send. Right now, it's going to start generating. I'm using ChatGPT 4.0, which is not only smart, but fast as well. Right now, it's chapter 1, chapter 2, and you're going to see that it will generate pretty much all the chapters, right? 10 chapters to be precise, plus the conclusion, of course. And as you can see, these are the 10 chapters. Now, as far as the title itself, the Carnivore Diet or Carnivore Diet to Cure Anxiety. So it didn't generate anything else from its own imagination, like it would if you didn't provide it with details. Let's go back here. Ask the model to adopt a persona. So here, let's go back and do this. In our prompt, we're going to click and we're going to actually say, adopt the persona of a genius scientist that discovered the benefits of this type of diet on our mind. Okay, so now we've added a persona. Now let's keep going. Use delimiters. We already did it, so pretty much we limited the title. We said that this is the title, which means we did not give it the freedom to choose any title it wants. We also limited how many chapters. We said 10 chapters. Specify the steps required to complete a task, right? So the steps are basically, I can say here, now generate the outline, and later I will ask you to generate chapter 1. Okay, and here I can add something like got it. Okay, and here let's go and keep going. Provide examples. So examples are pretty much what we have done. We said what the book is curing. We said what it helps with. Specify the desired length. So let's say, I'm going to say, make sure the outline is concise. Also, let's provide it with some more details. Let's say each chapter should have, right? Let's say should have 5 sub-chapters. 5 sub-chapters. That's another delimiter, and that's another output, right, detail. Now here, if we scroll down, notice that we still have some more. Provide reference text. Instruct the model using a reference text or citations or a PDF. So here, for example, we could go to Google and we could search for carnivore diet resource or resources. And here we have a lot of carnivore diet resources here that we can select from. So we can take this particular link right here, which is a carnivore diet resource that talks about the carnivore diet. And we could use this as a form of a resource, right? So I can just copy the link and I could go back into ChatGPT and I can say, use this as a resource. And I could place the link. I could also be more specific. I could go and get a book, right? So I could say carnivore diet book free so that I can find some free ebooks that we can actually utilize. So here we have a lot of links. We have SlideShare. We have a lot of links. So I'm going to go for SlideShare because I trust this website a bit more. It's a pretty famous website. So here I could particularly download this particular book right here. And so let's go ahead and do that. So if I click on download right now, it's going to download and you can see that how many views this book has gotten. So the book is getting downloaded right now. It's in the process of getting downloaded. Once you have downloaded a book that you can give to people, what you can do, well, you can close this, you can go back into ChatGPT, and you can use this button here, which allows you to upload a specific document, which is what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to go to my downloads and I'm going to put this. So not only am I providing it with a resource as a link, I'm also providing it with a PDF. What else? What else? What else do we have? Split complex tasks into simpler subtasks, which pretty much we have done. We're only asking it to generate the outline right now. We're not asking it to generate the chapters. And what do they mean by this? Well, okay, let me help explain it this way. So for instance, if you ask ChatGPT to generate the entire book for you, what will end up happening is that it will be overwhelmed, which means that it will generate a book, but it will be very small because its capabilities are going to be overwhelmed. Now, the perfect way to do this is to ask it to take it step by step. So you basically separate, you split. You say, okay, now generate the outline. You give it as much details regarding the outline because that's a critical period. And then once you get the outline done, you basically start asking it to generate subchapter number 1 of chapter 1. And then when it finishes generating subchapter number 1, you ask it, okay, now generate subchapter number 2. Okay, so now generate subchapter number 3, and so on and so forth until you get it done. Summarize long document and construct a full summary. Okay, so here, this is good because I'm doing it. I'm providing it with a PDF that it can summarize. Give the model time to think, which is pretty interesting. So don't interrupt it. Give it time to think. Use external tools. This we're not going to talk about APIs here. And test. Always test the responses. So now let's go ahead and hit the send button. And the response is going to be significantly different. Okay, so right now, as you can see, it has basically written the outline. This is the introduction, chapter number 1, chapter number 2, number 3, and so on and so forth. So you can see it's talking about the anxiety epidemic, my journey to discovery. And you can see that this book is looking quite interesting. And this is very interesting to me because in the course, we're going to create this type of book. We're going to create a book, except for it's going to be about a vegan diet and the benefits of the vegan diet, all right? So that's a type of book that you can create that can pretty much do well on Amazon. But as you can see here, it's certainly generating the book chapters in the way that we want. Now, if I scroll down right here, I can actually ask it right now, okay, now let's actually do exactly what they said over here, which is give the model time to think, split complex tasks into simpler subtasks. So what we're going to do, we're going to say generate the first subchapter of the first chapter, and let's take it easy. And every time you generate a chapter, you generate the subchapter, ask me to give you the yes to generate the next one. And so now if I hit enter, notice what's going to happen is it's going to start generating subchapter number 1. Okay. Now, some of you might like ChatGPT to give it the response as a text inside of ChatGPT. Some would like another way instead of this. You might probably want to go back and do this. So I'm going to edit the prompt. And here I'm going to actually say, put the text in a Word document and give me the downloadable link to download it. Okay. So now what I'm saying here, I'm saying do not write the text response. Just give me the file that I can download immediately without having to copy paste it myself onto another file by opening a Word document, copying the text from ChatGPT, pasting it in there, naming the file, and so on and so forth. That way, we don't have to do this, right? So all this process of copy pasting here and making sure that you do it is gone. Now, if I click on download the document, this is a link that works, and it immediately downloads the Word document version of subchapter number 1 of the chapter 1 of the book. And so as you can see, it pretty much has generated this for us. So you can see it right there, carnivore diet to cure anxiety. And you can see chapter 1, this is the subchapter, and it could generate the other subchapters as well. All right, so I didn't ask it to generate the introduction, by the way, but this is all just a practice exercise. Now I'm going to close this for a second here. And now that I've closed that, here is how we can proceed. So pretty much, now that you've learned this or these 6 strategies, obviously in the next lecture, we're going to have to introduce you to the GPT store and GPTs and what they're good for before I can take you and we can get started generating the vegan book, also formatting it as well, which is a very important thing that we're going to have to view. Also, how you can generate the ebook cover of that particular book. So stay tuned for I will see you in the next video.